Lauren, this is Jig, and I'm here to tell you about the Battle Mutants update. Thank you to everyone who bought this add-on, and thank you extra for people that have been reporting bugs. You can find the full list of fixes right here on the Jigarbov wiki. Let's get into it. This is a quick update we added shortly after launch. I introduced a new issue that's even worse, but let's go through the fixes right now. I'm currently in Realism Craft. You can tell because of the birds and the swishing grass, and here is a mutant zombie. So Battle Mutants is now working in Realism Craft. Look at him, he loves this environment. Now you can leave factions. So before I was in Sanguine, I can now leave faction. That's just a thing you can do. As it says, no faction means you cannot use the control buttons from any faction, and if any faction mutants are spawned, they can target you. Let's join back again, because the next thing that you can do is actually disable factions altogether. This is something that people wanted. So disable faction mechanics. This disables choosing a faction, and crafted faction eggs will return the materials when used. So if you do that, now factions are disabled. If you want to choose a faction, it actually says that the factions have been disabled. Factions eggs will be returned, same as before. And if you were in a faction, now you're not anymore. If I try to summon this mutant villager, you can see just the materials pop out. And you can see the new bug that was introduced, that if you were in survival, the faction eggs do not disappear. Now, this is already something that I've made a fix for, and I've already submitted to Mojang, and hopefully they can get it onto the store quickly. This happened because one of the fixes is when you're in creative mode, I didn't want the egg to be used. And of course, now bugs are hard. So if you're in survival right now and you have a bunch of faction eggs, they will not be used until the new fix comes out. And like I said, if you're in a faction and you disable factions, then the eggs won't work and it will just drop the items unless you turn that back on. So if I turn that back on, so factions is now enabled as normal, and then we summon our faction monster. Mutant roast is now cooked when a mutant is killed with fire. So let's go here. Cooked mutant roast. Spiders can now climb walls. The translation string was fixed too, so that when you ride, press shift to dismount. Oh my gosh. Opening the guide doesn't have that growl anymore, but opening the bestiary does. It's just not as loud. Some people didn't like getting growled at every 5 seconds, I guess. When normal wolves spawn in the environment, they won't just start fighting each other like they would before. They get along now, it's nice. William no longer has the capital I after the W. Well, there they are. The bee swarms now spawn with the correct team. Evokers will now spawn Vex of their correct respective team as well. Cerberus was buffed. Specifically, its projectiles are now stronger than they were before. And they'll actually put up a good fight now. The Mycelium will spawn in Mushroom Islands. There's one. They were spawning in Flower Forest before, which was definitely not intentional. They're pretty nasty, so they need to be very rare. You can no longer target yourself with a baton. I think if you were in third person like this and then used the baton, you could use it on yourself, but now you can't anymore. Oh, did you know you could put the batons on the wall like this? How fun. And using an egg on an item frame now puts the egg into the item frame instead of spawning a mutant. That's the same with chests and everything else. That's it. Thank you everyone for watching. As always, please leave a comment down below if you find any bugs. People have reported that they can't see the buttons in the add-on, but I have not been able to figure out why or how or on what platform. So if anyone has any information on that, please let me know, because if I can't see it, it's hard for me to fix or figure out why. I think it might have something to do with some other add-ons or some other pack that they have installed, but so far it's working for everyone else. So if anyone has any information on that, I would love to know.